What's the worst place an NBA team can be? Perpetual mediocrity. And apparently, that's exactly where the Knicks want to be. My name's Caleb, welcome to The Beat. All the NBA teams are going through different stages of the life cycle. Some are contending for championships and they're young. You have other teams looking for draft picks, Utah Jazz, Oklahoma City. These teams are looking to find the next big superstar in the draft. Other teams are growing. You have the Cleveland Cavaliers who just got Donovan Mitchell and they're working their way up into that contention. But every once in a while you get a team that is just in that perpetual mediocrity. They're not actually contending for something, but they're also not getting good draft picks. They're never at that point where they're going to be a serious playoff contender. This starts happening when you start investing too much money in the wrong players while not developing. And the Knicks right now, they should have started this last year, which, I mean, everybody was screaming top of their lungs about this. They should have started it last year with, for instance, starting Emmanuel quickly over Alec Burks. But they are in a great position now to see what they have with their youth. What's Grimes going to give him as a starter? What's Obi Toppin going to give him as a starter? These are players such as Toppin, Emmanuel Quickley going into their third year, Grimes going into his second year. These are players that they really need to evaluate. Cam Reddish, he's going into a contract year. What can he give you? We already know that RJ Barrett, he got his contract, he's here for 4 years, and he's going to be somebody that they're going to rely on very heavily along with Jalen Brunson. They have a great center core, all under the age of 25. You have Mitchell Robinson, Hartenstein, Sims. I love Sims. And he's buried. And on a lot of teams, he could be the backup center. But what the Knicks also have is Tom Thibodeau. The Knicks also have Julius Randle. They also have Fournier. They also have Rose. And these are all players, and in the Thibodeau system, when he plays somebody, he puts so many minutes on them a game, it leaves very little for anybody else. And after this past season, we heard that, maybe Thibodeau has kind of opened his eyes. Maybe he's willing to look at the youth a little bit more. He said Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickley really opened his eyes in that last stretch of games. Go figure, right? But saying that, how many times have we thought he might change? How many times have we thought that he was going to play somebody when he didn't? When Grimes got hot and then he kind of backed off him a little bit. And the only reason he got playing time was because of COVID. Currently, as the team stands, and the way Thibodeau plays, Obi Toppin is going to be stuck behind Julius Randle. Grimes is going to be stuck behind Fournier. Emmanuel Quickley is going to be stuck behind Derrick Rose and Brunson. Are we just banking on the fact that Derrick Rose is going to get hurt at some point and that's when Quickley and Grimes will really start to get their minutes? Is that really how we're going to develop? Once we lost out on the Donovan Mitchell trade, that's saying that our draft picks and our young core are good enough. They're good enough that we weren't willing to go out and get this star. Fine, if that's the line that you want us to buy, then they have to get played, right? And I know personally, I was sitting pretty comfortable in the fact that Leon Rose still is going to do something. He's still going to try to trade Randle. He's still going to try and trade Fournier. I doubt Rose is going anywhere. That is Thibodeau's go-to guy. He is his relief valve everywhere he's ever been. But if we could get rid of Randle and Fournier, both good players in their own right. I prefer Fournier on the team over Randle, because Randle, we all know his mental decisions. He's a slow player in a fast-paced game. He surely has talent. He's got the size. He doesn't fit this team. Not the way Obi does. Randle's a better player than Obi. Obi fits this team better. He's willing to sacrifice. He plays off ball better. He doesn't stick and hold the ball. He moves the ball almost immediately. So I was sitting kind of comfortable in the fact that they got to do something, right? That this is the year that they're going to truly evaluate this team so we know in 2023 where we're going to go. Are we going to go hard into the draft? Are we going to trade those draft picks for somebody? I really thought we were kind of on the bottom rung of that that life cycle I was talking about, the talent evaluation life cycle, or we were in the talent evaluation stage. That's what I thought. And I know we're going to take this with a grain of salt. There was an interview done by SNY with the New York Post, Mark Berman, and this is what was said. They asked Berman, is it imperative the team gives minutes to these young players? Simple question, right? Mark Berman responds, that's not Tom Thibodeau's plan. Tom wants to win right now. They are trying to win right away. And I quote, you are going to see a lot of Derrick Rose. How does that help this team? Next 82 games, as soon as the season starts, and we're playing Randle 30 to 35 minutes a game, and we're playing Fournier 30 minutes a game, Rose is getting in there for his 20 minutes a game. What are we contending for? A play-in spot? Maybe? Who are we beating in the East? The East is stacked. And I believe in our team. I believe in our young guys. I actually think with the faster paced basketball, our young guys can have a better record than if we play with Randle and Fournier. I think we can have a better chance at a higher playoff spot, but that's a different discussion. If we're playing with those vets that Tom Thibodeau loves so bad, and we're only getting into a play-in, and I mean if we scratch and we claw every single win out that we possibly can, was it worth it? Maybe. Probably not. Because who are we going to go up against? Who are we going to lose against at that point? I want to go back to the playoffs. I do. I really, really do. But I don't want it just to be swept out of the building. I want to be able to compete. I want to know that I have a shot to make it to the second round. And with the players on this team right now, I don't see that happening. So we didn't bring in that player to elevate us into that potential second round category. So we have a choice. We either sit here in mediocrity, which then, say we get to the play-in, get kicked out, right? What's our draft pick next year? It's not near the top. We don't have a chance at the top. Our only option, our only logical option, is to play these kids, to find out what we have. And if Thibodeau is really hard-pressed on playing just the vets like that, I don't see how Madison Square Garden is going to stay quiet. It's going to get ugly. With the fans, it's going to get ugly. We want to know that we're working towards something. And when you're in perpetual mediocrity, you're not working towards anything. It's the same thing, in and out every year. They had the chance last year. They punted. They missed. Thibodeau's got to open up his eyes. Or somebody has to do it for him and make him realize that we have to evaluate these kids. And I know in one hand, you're going to say, well, this is his job on the line. If he goes out to evaluate the kids and he's not playing Randle and Fournier and he doesn't have these guys out on the court and we start losing, well, that's his job. How's it any better if we play Randle and Fournier and we win a couple games more? But instead, you're going to have the entire fan base, the entirety of Madison Square Garden coming down on your head. You're going to have the media constantly questioning those decisions. I've thought about making a video on it. I actually believe Tom Thibodeau could be the perfect coach for this team. And I know that sounds crazy because he has a terrible reputation when it comes to vets. He has a terrible reputation when it comes to his rotations, his template coaching, all of that. I understand. Like I said, maybe I'll make a whole video on it, but it comes from my military experience, and his coaching style really helps develop, if he focuses on it, the young players. By the time these vets are getting older, they don't respond the same way to that boot camp type of coaching. They don't respond as the same as these young guys. These young guys eat it up, especially the gym rats, the guys that work hard. I don't know if I'm looking too much into this. I understand Berman has come out and he said a lot of things a lot of different times, and this sounded more like his opinion than he actually asked Thibodeau what he was going to do. I don't think anybody's come forward and said, this is our plan, this is how we want to do it. It's way too early for that. So I'm probably reading a little bit too much into this. We got a little over a month until the season begins. It seems like forever ago that we traded away Burks and Noel, and I just feel like something should have happened by now with one of these veterans. And I don't know if they were putting too much effort on the Donovan Mitchell trade to focus on this. I hope they are now. I hope they haven't just put the phone down and said we're good to go. I really hope they push forward with some more changes to free up some both minutes for the kids and mental space for Thibodeau to be able to push this season a little bit younger. So how about you guys? Let me know what you think down below. Is this just Berman being Berman, or is there some validity to that and Thibodeau's just gonna put out every vet he can? If we get Melo, is he gonna play Melo over somebody like Obi? How's he gonna do that? That's crazy. I don't think he would do that. Let me know what you guys think below. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. This has been a Knicks Beat. Peace.